Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive with me today?
Always.
Awesome. So we've got a bunch of really cool articles to get through today. Genomics, specifically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from genomics, proteomics, and bioinformatics, and computational biology and bioinformatics. Nature.com subject feeds.
Sounds good.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. So let's just jump right in. One that I thought was super interesting right off the bat was about the type 3 IFN response
Okay.
and how it helps our immune systems defend against pathogens.
Yeah. So these type 3 IFNs are like the first line of defense, right?
Yeah, they're like the guards at the gate.
Exactly, in
Yeah.
the immune and epithelial cells specifically. And what's really interesting about them is that they can activate independently of type IFN signaling.
So they're like a backup system.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if the main system goes down, this one can still kick in and fight off the invaders.
That's really cool. Do you think this could lead to new ways to treat viral infections?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a new avenue for antiviral therapies. We could potentially boost our natural defenses or even develop completely new treatments.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, moving on. There was another study from genomics, proteomics, and bioinformatics that focused on a clinical trial for folks over 65.
Oh, yeah, that one was interesting, looking at how effective vaccines are in older adults, which is super important.
For sure.
And they actually found that the people who got the vaccine showed really strong T-cell responses.
So even as we age, vaccines can still help our bodies fight back.
Yeah, that's right. T-cells are like the special forces of our immune system. And even though our immune system weakens as we get older, these findings suggest that vaccines can still activate those T-cells to fight off threats.
That's great news. Does this mean we could develop even better vaccines for older people in the future?
It's definitely possible. This kind of research helps us figure out how to tailor vaccination strategies for different age groups so that everyone can be protected no matter how old they are.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we've got a bunch of articles from computational biology and bioinformatics. Nature.com subject feeds too. I'm really excited about these. They all highlight how powerful computational approaches are becoming in genomics.
Absolutely. It's like a whole new toolbox for unlocking the secrets of the genome.
Right, like that one about using computational models to make combination therapies more effective.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It's basically using algorithms to find the best combinations of drugs that work together synergistically.
So instead of the drugs working against each other, they actually boost each other's effects.
Exactly. It could revolutionize how we treat a whole range of diseases.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about that article about using a hybrid data assimilation method to predict COVID-19?
Oh, you mean the one with the Ensemble Kalman filter and KNN?
Yeah, that one. I have to admit, I got a little lost in the technical jargon.
Haha, no worries. It's basically using some pretty sophisticated algorithms and real-time data to create more accurate models for predicting how diseases like COVID-19 will spread.
So it's kind of like having a crystal ball to see into the future of disease outbreaks.
You could say that. It gives us valuable insights into how diseases are transmitted, so we can take preemptive measures and protect public health more effectively.
That's incredible. I'm seeing a lot of articles about using computational tools to analyze complex biological data too, like extracting clinical information,
Right.
understanding gene function, and even inferring microRNA activity.
Yeah, there's so much going on in that space. It's like we're gaining a whole new level of understanding of the intricate workings of cells.
It's mind-blowing. And speaking of mind-blowing, there's even a study on gene expression and phenotype in mice that were sent to space.
Right. That one's pretty wild. By analyzing data from these space-flown mice, researchers can actually figure out how space travel affects living organisms at the molecular level.
Wow, that's incredible. So we're not just exploring the universe out there, we're also exploring the universe within ourselves. What implications does this kind of research have for, future space missions and stuff?
Well, long-duration space missions expose astronauts to things like microgravity and cosmic radiation, which can have a big impact on their bodies. If we can understand how these factors affect them at a genetic level, we might be able to develop countermeasures or even personalized strategies to mitigate the risks.
That's so cool. So genomics research is helping us prepare for life beyond Earth. I love it. Okay, so we've covered immune responses, vaccines, computational biology, even space travel. What else is new in the world of genomics?
Well, one area that's really taking off is the use of genomics in drug discovery and development.
Oh, right. I was reading about that. Is that where the idea of personalized medicine comes in? Like treatments tailored to an individual's genetic makeup?
Exactly. That's the holy grail, you could say.
Wow, that would be amazing. So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, We could have treatments that are specifically designed to target the root cause of a disease in each person.
Exactly, and genomics is paving the way for that to happen. By analyzing a person's genetic information, researchers can identify specific genes or pathways that are involved in a disease, and then they can use that knowledge to develop targeted therapies that are more effective and have fewer side effects.
That sounds like a game changer. Are there already examples of this happening in the real world?
Oh, absolutely. For example, in cancer treatment, genomic testing is already being used to identify specific mutations that are driving the growth of a tumor. That allows doctors to choose therapies that are most likely to work for that specific patient, which leads to better outcomes.
Wow, that's like having a personalized roadmap for treatment. But I imagine this level of personalized medicine raises some ethical concerns, right?
Oh, for sure. There are big questions about data privacy, access to these therapies, and the potential for genetic discrimination. As we move towards this more personalized approach to healthcare, we need to make sure we're doing it responsibly and ethically.
It's a complex landscape, but the potential benefits are huge.
No doubt about it. Genomics has the power to revolutionize healthcare as we know it. And it's not just about personalized medicine either. Genomics is also playing a crucial role in global health initiatives.
Right. I read that it's being used to track the spread of infectious diseases like COVID-19, which helps researchers understand how viruses evolve and develop better vaccines and treatments.
That's a great example. By analyzing the genetic sequences of viruses from different places, researchers can track mutations, identify new variants, and see how well existing therapies are working. That information is super valuable for developing targeted interventions and controlling the spread of diseases around the world.
So genomics is like a powerful tool in our fight against global health threats.
Exactly. And it's not just about reacting to outbreaks, it's also about being proactive. We can use genomics to identify potential threats and develop strategies to prevent future pandemics.
How does that work?
Well, by studying the genetic diversity of viruses in animal populations, researchers can identify those that have the potential to jump to humans and cause outbreaks. This kind of surveillance helps us anticipate and prepare for future pandemics, which could save countless lives.
That's amazing. It's really inspiring to see how genomics is being used to tackle these global health challenges. It feels like we're entering a new era of healthcare.
It really does, doesn't it? But we have to remember that genomics is still a young field. We're making incredible progress, but there's still so much we don't know.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new discoveries and forget that we're still just scratching the surface.
Exactly. And as we dig deeper, we're bound to encounter unexpected complexities and challenges. It's a journey of exploration, and we need to be ready for the unknown.
I guess that's what makes science so fascinating, right? It's a constant process of discovery, learning, and adapting our understanding as we go along.
Absolutely. Which is why ongoing research and critical thinking are so important. We can't just accept findings at face value. We need to constantly question, analyze, and refine our methods as we gain new knowledge.
So where do you see the field of genomics heading in the future? What are some of the big questions that researchers are grappling with?
Well, one area that's getting a lot of attention is epigenetics. It's basically the study of how environmental factors can influence gene expression without actually changing the underlying DNA sequence.
Oh, I've heard about that. So it's like, even though our genes provide a blueprint, our experiences and environment can shape how those genes are expressed.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You have a cookbook with all the recipes, but the way you actually cook those dishes can vary depending on the ingredients you have, your cooking skills, even the weather outside.
I love that analogy. So how does this play into genomics research?
Well, if we can understand epigenetic modifications, we can unlock even more secrets about the complex relationship between genes and the environment. It could lead to new insights into how diseases develop, personalized therapies based on an individual's epigenetic profile, and even strategies for improving health and well-being through lifestyle changes.
It sounds like epigenetics adds another layer of complexity, but also opens up a whole new world of possibilities for genomics research.
It does. And then there's the ongoing quest to unravel the mysteries of the non-coding genome.
Non-coding. You mean the parts of our DNA that don't directly code for proteins?
That's right. For a long time, those non-coding regions were considered junk DNA. But now we're realizing that they play a vital role in regulating gene expression and other cellular processes.
So even though they don't make proteins themselves, they're still essential for controlling how our genes function.
Exactly. They're like the backstage crew in a theater production. They might not be on stage, but they're crucial for making the whole show run smoothly. Figuring out the mysteries of the non-coding genome could lead to breakthroughs in understanding diseases, developing new therapies, and even rewriting the story of human evolution.
Wow, it's amazing to think about all the hidden secrets that are still waiting to be uncovered within our own DNA. It's such an exciting time to be following the world of genomics.
It really is, and I think that's a perfect note to end on. Genomics is a field that's constantly evolving, full of surprises and endless possibilities.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into genomics news. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the latest breakthroughs in immune responses and vaccine development to the incredible power of computational biology and the vast potential of epigenetics and the non-coding genome. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly energized and optimistic about the future of this field.
Me too. It's a field that's full of hope and promise, with the potential to transform human health and well-being in ways we can only begin to imagine.
And as we've seen, it's not just about scientific advancements. It's about using that knowledge responsibly and ethically to create a healthier and more equitable world for everyone. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep an eye on this incredible field because the future of genomics is bright and it's unfolding right before our eyes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep that curiosity alive.
Yeah, it's amazing how far we've come, being able to use data to understand and predict these outbreaks.
Right, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? There's so many articles here talking about all these computational tools like extracting clinical information or even understanding gene function, like at the very moment of silencing.
Right, and then there was that one about inferring microRNA activity, from transcriptomics data. It's like we're looking deeper into cells than ever before.
It's mind-blowing, and it's not even just about human health. There's one study looking at gene expression and phenotypes in mice that have been to space.
I know, right? Isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
Researchers are using these computational methods to analyze the data from these mice and learn about how space travel affects living organisms like at a molecular level.
That's incredible. So we're not just exploring the universe out there, but also the universe like inside each of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm curious, though, what are the implications of all this research?
Well, think about it. Long-duration space missions put astronauts at risk. Exposure to microgravity, cosmic radiation, all that stuff can really affect the body. If we can figure out how it affects them genetically, then we can start developing ways to protect them, like countermeasures or even personalized strategies to reduce those risks.
Wow. So genomics is like helping us prepare for life beyond Earth. That's amazing. All right, so we've talked about immune responses, vaccines, computational biology, even space travel. Is there anything else new and exciting happening in genomics?
Well, one area that's really generating a lot of buzz is the use of genomics in drug discovery and development.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that, is that where personalized medicine comes in. Treatments that are tailored to each person's unique genetic makeup.
Exactly. That's kind of the ultimate goal.
It would be incredible to have treatments that are designed to target the root cause of the disease in each individual instead of this one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly, and genomics is making that a reality. By analyzing a person's genetic information, researchers can pinpoint the specific genes or pathways involved in their disease and then develop targeted therapies that are more effective and have fewer side effects.
That sounds like a total game changer for healthcare. Are there any real-world examples of this already happening?
Oh, definitely. In cancer treatment, for instance, genomic testing is being used to identify specific mutations that are driving tumor growth. So doctors can choose therapies that are most likely to be effective for that particular patient, which leads to better outcomes overall.
Wow, that's like having a personalized roadmap for treatment. It's incredible. But I imagine all of this raises some ethical concerns, right?
Absolutely. There are definitely some big questions about data privacy, access to these therapies, and the potential for genetic discrimination. As we move towards this more personalized approach to healthcare, we need to be really careful and make sure it's done ethically and responsibly.
It's a complex issue, but the potential benefits are enormous.
Absolutely. Genomics has the power to completely transform healthcare as we know it.
Yeah.
And it's not just about personalized medicine either. Genomics is also making a huge impact on global health initiatives.
Oh, right. I read something about that, like how it's being used to track the spread of infectious diseases like COVID-19.
Exactly. It helps researchers understand how viruses evolve and develop better vaccines and treatments.
Yeah, I was reading about how by analyzing the genetic sequences of viruses from different regions, researchers can actually track mutations, identify new variants, and even see how well existing therapies are working. That kind of information is so important for developing targeted interventions and controlling the spread of diseases all over the world.
It is. It's like having a powerful weapon in our arsenal against global health threats. And it's not just about reacting to outbreaks either.
Oh, right. What else?
It's also about being proactive, using genomics to identify potential threats and come up with strategies to prevent future pandemics.
Wow. How do they do that?
By studying the genetic diversity of viruses in animal populations, researchers can pinpoint the ones that have the potential to jump to humans and cause outbreaks. It's like a surveillance system that helps us anticipate and prepare for future pandemics, which could potentially save countless lives.
That's amazing. It's really inspiring to see how genomics is being used to tackle these big global health challenges. It feels like we're on the verge of a new era in healthcare.
It does, doesn't it? But it's important to remember that genomics is still a relatively young field.
Right.
We've made incredible progress, but there's still so much we don't know.
Yeah, it's easy to get swept up in all the excitement of new discoveries and forget that we're really just scratching the surface here.
Exactly. And as we delve deeper, we're going to encounter new challenges and complexities that we haven't even thought of yet. It's all part of the journey of exploration, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's what makes science so captivating. It's a constant process of discovery learning and adapting our understanding as we go along.
Absolutely. And that's why we need to keep researching and keep thinking critically.
Yeah.
We can't just accept things at face value. We need to constantly question, analyze, and refine our methods as we learn more.
So where do you see this all going? Like, where's the field of genomics headed in the future? What are some of the big questions that researchers are trying to answer?
Well, one area that's getting a lot of attention is epigenetics.
Okay.
You know how environmental factors can influence gene expression?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. But, like, remind me, how does that work again?
It's like even though our genes provide the blueprint, our experiences and environment can actually change how those genes are expressed.
So, like, even though the genes themselves don't change the way they're used, can be different.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You have a cookbook with all the recipes, right?
Okay.
But the way you actually cook those dishes can change depending on the ingredients you have, your cooking skills, even the weather outside.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So how does this all fit into genomics research?
Well, if we can understand these epigenetic modifications, it could help us unlock even more secrets about how genes and the environment work together.
Yeah.
It could give us new insights into disease development, personalized therapies, even strategies for improving our health through lifestyle changes.
So epigenetics is like a whole new dimension of genomics research. It's pretty amazing. And what about the non-coding genome? I remember reading about that.
Right. For a long time, those non-coding regions were considered junk DNA, but now we know they play a huge role in regulating gene expression and all sorts of other cellular processes.
So even though they don't directly code for proteins, they're still super important.
Exactly. They're like the behind-the-scenes crew in a theater production. They might not be on stage, but they make sure the whole show runs smoothly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Figuring out how the non-coding genome works could lead to some major breakthroughs.
Like what?
Understanding diseases, developing new therapies, maybe even rewriting what we know about human evolution.
Wow. It's incredible to think about all those secrets hidden within our own DNA. It's such an exciting time to be following all of this.
It really is, and I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from immune responses in vaccines to computational biology and epigenetics. It's amazing to see how far genomics has come and how much potential it has for the future.
I agree. It's a field that's full of hope and promise, and it could transform human health in ways we can't even imagine yet.
And it's not just about the science itself. It's also about using this knowledge responsibly and ethically to create a healthier world for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to everyone listening out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and stay curious about this incredible field, because the future of genomics is bright and it's unfolding right before our eyes. That's it for our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next time.